Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. For a few minutes, if you guys want to turn your cameras on, not required, but if you want, it will be nice to have a conversation. So, all right. Again, if you can turn your cameras on, that's fine. So, a few days back, you guys took the ACT, the October 22nd ACT. I've been hearing a lot of things that it was difficult. It was hard, especially the math section. I've heard quite a bit, and some to some extent reading. So what I want from you guys is, if you have taken the ACT on October 22nd, could you tell me what you felt? And I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance here. So Victoria, you can start from here.
I ran out of time on reading and math, mostly.
How many questions were you left in reading and math?
In reading, I would say about four of the last section, and then for math, probably five questions.
Okay, and again, I want you to be damn straight with me. Okay, don't sugarcoat and stuff like that. So, Victoria, question for you. So, of course, the class is not done yet. Okay, there's quite a bit of class left. So, based on what you had covered, we had so far, has the class helped you for the test? Imagine if you had not taken the class.
Yes, it has helped me.
Okay, and I want you to be honest. Okay, just don't. You're not going to hurt the feelings. I want honesty on this one. All right. So, what portion do you think we should improve on? And I know that this is very rare for us to hear that it was so tough that some of our really top students have struggled. It is very rare for us to hear that. I okay, especially the math section. Like one student who has a 35 told me that he may not get a 35, he may get a 32 or something like that. But remember, when the test is hard, that means the curve is going to help you. We'll see. Results will be this Tuesday. Is in a so at 8 a.m. Sorry, 12 a.m. Tuesday morning. So that's tomorrow late night. You'll get your results, especially if you're an Iowa, South Dakota residents, Kansas residents. So, all right. Next, let's see. John Paul, did you take the test?
Yes.
Give me same questions. Quick. Let's go.
Pretty much the exact same as she experienced. The class definitely helped. I feel that I would have gotten near. I probably had gotten more non-finished than I did, but I still did have things left over that I did not finish in both math and reading.
How was science?
I feel that wasn't too bad. I believe I did pretty. I believe that one was.
Okay. And did the strategy of selecting the passages helped or didn't matter this time?
It helped.
Okay. Now, next, Nathan, did you take the test? No. Kabir, did you take the test? Soren, I know you took the test.
Yeah, I took the test.
Go, let's go.
So English, I was kind of pressed for time, but it didn't seem that hard. Math, I was like, that math was super hard, and I didn't really finish. A couple of them I had to guess. I and
Okay, hold on, Soren. When you say super hard, do you mean to say that you couldn't solve it, or you just took more time to solve it, or both?
um, no, it took more time to solve it, so it messed up my pacing. So I kind of had to rush at the end and stuff. It was harder than all the practice tests maths that I've done.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too. But again, did the class, let's say you had not taken the class, then what?
Oh yeah, I did way better with the class than I would have without it.
And I hope you guys are honest because I really want to improve. And remember, I'm not going to take one snapshot of one test and start making changes at New Horizon. But I usually, and this happened, I believe, in October 2019 when the test was really hard. And people wanted us to make changes when we didn't. And December turned out to be like damn easy. And that might happen for you guys. So I hope you all have registered for the December test. You don't want to miss the next test. Yes, it's gonna hurt you guys if it turns out easy, and I have a gut feeling that it's not. It's gonna be I don't know that, but I'm just making based on my years of teaching, doing this. I expect this to be a little bit less difficult than last time. So, Anaika, did you take the test?
Yes, I did.
Same questions then.
So I think I didn't really have a problem with like any of the sections. I was a little tight for time on the science test, but that's kind of my weak spot anyway. So, and I do think that the class helped me like with my, not so much on like the reading in English, but on like the math and science with my pacing.
Okay. Did you come across a math question which you had no clue?
There were a couple.
What topics? What topics?
I don't even remember, honestly. I just guessed and kept moving.
Is there anybody who remembers any question that was absolutely no clue? Yeah, Victoria?
One with an exclamation point.
Factorials?
Yeah.
Shit. Oh, sorry.
There was only one of those though.
I'm doing factorials today. Damn it. Okay. All right.
There was a question. I remembered how to do it after the test, but during the test, it was like there was a triangle in a right triangle in another triangle, and you had to use the like congruencies to see the sides. But I forgot to like draw the two triangles, so I didn't really know how to do that one.
Side angle. Was it a side angle side? Side? What type of triangle was it?
So it was a big right triangle, and then within that right triangle, like one of the legs, it was like in the right triangle. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
Why don't
it's
you
like-
draw? Why don't you draw it and text me as best to your imagination? All right. And anything else you want to tell me? And again, I just want you to be damn straight. Let's not waste time. Anything you want to tell me? Okay. Tessa, did you take the test?
Yeah, I took the test.
Same questions then.
I feel the same way about math and science. I guess math and reading. Math and reading, I ran out of time, and I thought the math was pretty difficult. But then science, there was a couple questions that were like you would have to know, like before coming in, like the body systems. I guess it didn't have anything.
So the previous knowledge type of questions which we have come across. So
Well, those
were those easier previous knowledge questions, or do you think it was complex?
for me, no, it wasn't easier because I would have had to take like a medical or like a
Biology?
body. Yeah, because it talked about like body systems, I guess.
I don't know why they're doing. Usually they're throwing the one or two questions, but like that. But that's not fair.
But I think I was able to figure it out, but I don't know. But then reading, I ran out of time.
How many questions?
I think like 5 maybe.
All right. What passage in reading was hardest?
It would have been the second one for me.
That's social science.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the same question. Did the class prep you better than in the past for you?
Yeah. Definitely, I would say.
Which topic or subject in our class has helped you prepare the most for the October test?
Science.
Okay. Andy, did you take the test?
So yeah, I did.
Tell me.
My internet's being weird. What did you say?
Tell me, how did you do in the test? Did the class help you? And I know Andy well, so Andy, just give me straight answers.
Yeah. I thought the reading was harder than like in practice as well. And I ran out of time on English.
How many questions?
Like 5.
Did anybody run out of time for English? Okay. Andy, did you start slow, or did you think you needed more time per question?
I think I started okay and slowed down. Because I thought the questions on English actually weren't that hard, but I guess I didn't go fast enough.
Andy, was this the first time you took the test?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. Okay, that when you're doing this for the first time, you have the innate latency in the system. So I know, Poor, you didn't take the test. Christian, did you take the test?
No.
Okay. Jack, did you take the test?
Yes.
Tell me.
It's kind of the same that everybody else has. I didn't run out of time, and I thought the math was probably the hardest.
Okay. Were there any questions on logs in math?
Yes.
Okay. How about pre-calc stuff? Sine equations. Any questions on pre-calc trigonometric function questions?
I think there was one.
One. So if I can ask you this question, I'm going to give you a blank check to teach a math portion of the ACT math. What would be that portion you guys would want to be taught based on the October experience? Bless you. Is it stats? Is it pre-calc? Is it arithmetic? Is it geometry, trigonometry? You gotta give me some indications, guys.
I think more like quadratic equation stuff. There was one problem on a practice test where it was like each hat you sell or is like up $4, or for it's something, but it's like a quadratic equation, and you have to find the maximum. But it's like a word problem.
The worst part is the October test, you will not be able to order the test. You can only order the December, April, and the June tests. If we could order the October test, it would have been so fantastic. I would love to do the math test myself. Like I would time myself and I want to take it. It just bothers me. I'm just not still getting the hang of it, why the math was so hard. Usually I've done this for a long time. I usually can say, okay, now I know why it's happening. I'm trying to understand, was the test hard? Was the test long? That's what I'm trying to differentiate. And I'm not, you guys need to help me out here. Was it tough or was it long? These are two different things.
I would say it was long. There were some questions that were difficult, but for the most part, it just felt more long than it did extremely difficult.
How are the first, excuse me, how are the first 30 questions in math? Easy like usual or not easy? No?
So
The first 20 seemed easy, and then like after that, at that point, that's where they kind of like picked up in difficulty and started taking a while.
Okay. Is there anybody who's taken the October test not doing the December test? Good. I hope everybody has signed up, okay? Let's remember, challenges give us a better opportunity to prove ourselves, okay? This is the time you got to prove ourselves, right? I will never give up, okay? You throw me in the worst of the worst situation, I'll come up with something. So this has only driven me to you know what? I've been thinking a lot. Last week, one of my close friends' mother passed away, and we had a funeral on last Sunday. So we had to make last minute changes. Aubrey came and did the test. So that was not planned, actually. I don't know if she told you guys this, but I had to go to the funeral. It was been hard. They live in Dakota Dunes, 2 blocks from my home. I know his mom's. They used to live with him, so I used to meet them all the time. So she passed away, and we had to make arrangements for the funeral and all the stuff. So we had to make a last minute change, and luckily Aubrey had time. Otherwise, we would have been a pretty difficult situation. So that was not planned, and I want to apologize for that. But I just had to be there for them. So we are off a little plan, by the way. So the test you guys took was planned for next Sunday. So we had to make that shift. So did you guys take the whole test last week?
Yeah.
Okay, did you guys grade the test? It's a simple
Yeah.
yes or no
Yeah, we
question.
did.
Yeah, okay. Were you there, Victoria? Okay. Did anybody get all 60 correct? One wrong? Two? John, you got two wrong? Soren, two wrong? All right. So did the test you guys took last Sunday compared to the October test? If the October test was a 10 hardest, what would be the test you guys took in terms of 1 to 10 rating? If October 22nd was the 10.
5 or 4.
What? No way.
I thought the practice test that we took last week was way easier.
I would say like a 7.5.
Okay, I would take a 7.5, 5. Jesus Christ, I would be screwed. I was like, oh my God, where should I get the test from then?
No, probably closer to a 6. Closer to a 6.
Sympathy call. Oh my. Well, if that is the case, then we have a problem. If it's a 6 and a 10, we have a problem. Yeah, and I can have a comment.
I don't want to be like the lone voice of dissent, but I actually thought the real like ACT was easier than the practice test for some reason.
Oh,
Maybe it's just me.
thank you. I needed somebody to comfort me here. I was like, okay, I'm okay with a 7-8 versus a 10, but a 5-6 versus 10 would be concerning because is there anybody who's not doing the December 3rd review? By the way, you guys need to think about it. I'm really going to be prepping hard for that. Okay, so I'm trying to get some real tough tests, but it's not in the market. So whatever we bought, I'm using that right now, but I'm still going to find for a harder one. It's hard to get these tests. We pay a fortune to get these practice tests. Not the easy ones, but the real difficult ones. So, all right, hang in there. Let's start working for the December test. I don't want any reasons, okay, that, oh, this happened, so I'm disappointed, depressed. Screw that. Take a shower, let's get studying, okay? Let's put more effort than the past. Go and get your calculators, notebooks. We're going to continue with imaginary numbers. Okay. I'm having a hard time understanding this. I really am hard time. How come this test would be that hard? If you guys are ready, we're gonna we're ready to go. Again, the same thing. If you do the problem, just tell me your name so I know who has done it. First question. Simplify. 3 minus I divided by I. Let's go.
Poor
Okay.
Annika.
Weird.
And one more thing, anytime I give a question and you think, oh, this question or similar question was in the test, I want somebody to tell me that right away, okay? Let's all work together so that it helps everybody, okay? Oh, I see this question, boom, or similar question. So I have to have an idea what you guys are seeing in the test, okay?
Nathan.
Jack.
Tom Paul.
All right, let's get started here. So when you have a question on imaginary numbers, when you have something like that, as of right now, you can't do much about it, but you can simplify using what's called conjugate. The conjugate of I is I. So you multiply with I, divide by I. By doing so, you're not changing the value of the question. You're not changing the value of the question. You're just making it easier to simplify. Distribute the top 3i minus I squared divided by I squared. I squared is -1, so 3i plus 1 divided by -1. This is minus of -1, by the way. So it becomes -1 minus 3i. Make sense? You can do this in your calculator. Everybody get your calculator. So the best way to do this, if you have a calculator right like this, do 3 minus I, and I is second decimal point, something like this, divided by, and you got to be careful with the divided by though. Put parentheses so you don't make the mistake of order of functions. So like this. And if you hit enter, you get directly the answer. I want everybody to make sure you do that with your calculator. Practice it. Are we good, guys?
Yeah.
All right, second problem. Again, same, simplify 1 minus I divided by 2 plus I. Same question, simplify.
Nathan. Or good beer.
Was there any questions on imaginary numbers in the test?
Maybe one.
Okay. So the conjugate of I is I. The conjugate of a plus I, 2 plus I is 2 minus I. The goal of doing a conjugate is to help us further simplify. Distribute the top. Be careful with the positives and the negatives. And same here. I'm just going to continue here. Gotta be careful with the negatives, okay? So this is what I'm getting.
Oh, I got something different.
Let's make sure. Okay, 2 minus 2i minus I squared minus I. Seems like I'm...
Is it plus?
It should be a 2 on top.
Where? 2 minus of minus 1 is 3. 3 minus 3i divided by 5. Did the calculators give answer as 0.6 minus 0.6i?
gives 1/5 minus 3/5 I.
So 1/5. So. Ooh, where did I make a mistake? So this portion is correct. So it should be 2 minus 1 then. Oh my goodness. No, this is correct. I squared is -1. Oh, this should be plus I squared. Sorry about that. Alright. Thank you. So, now, there is one more thing I want you guys to learn here is instead of writing like this, they also will write 1/5 minus 3/5 I. This is how a complex number is written. A complex number is in the format a plus bi, where a is the real portion of it, b is the coefficient of the imaginary portion. So they may also ask you what are the a and the b values of the final answer. So when you do if they ask the a and b values, you got to get into the complex number fashion, which is a plus bi. That's why your calculator always will give you 0.6 minus 0.6 I, because the first value is always the real value. So this is the real, this is the coefficient of the imaginary. So every number we know can be written as a complex number. So every number is a complex number. Whether it's imaginary or real, it's always going to be written as a complex number. Alright? And they may ask you one more thing. They may give this question and they will ask you, what is the modulus? What is the modulus of this? So if they ask you the modulus, you do what we have done so far to this point. Okay? And you want to get to this format, a plus bi. Modulus is equal to square root of a squared plus b squared. So a squared plus b squared. So it's going to be square root of 1/5 squared plus b is -3/5 squared. Let's make sure it's correct, okay? 1 square, 1, 9, 10. So 10 divided by 25 is square root 10 divided by 5. So the modulus of this is square root 10 over 5. And modulus will always be a value, a real value. It won't be imaginary. So I'm going to repeat this. So when they ask you to simplify, you get to this point. If they ask for a and b values, you get to this point. If they ask for modulus, you get to this point and then go to this point.
What does the modulus represent in this case?
Well, so where have you seen square root of a squared plus b squared?
Pythagorean theorem.
So it actually represents the distance, but in a complex plane. So I don't want to go too much into detail of how a modulus corresponds to complex planes. So it resembles the Pythagorean theorem, square root of a squared plus b squared, which measures distance. That's why modulus actually it is written as like this. It's actually always a positive value because it measures distance in a complex plane. Does that make sense, Paul?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And of course, there is a lot more to it, but I'm just don't want to go too much detail into it. But that's why they write. See, that's why I didn't write plus or minus here, because modulus measures distance in a complex plane. So that's why I wrote it as square root 10 over 5. Question number 3. Question? Anybody? All right. Question number 3. solve, or sorry, simplify I raised to 99. And I'm gonna give you guys two problems. I raised to 99 and I raised to 250. Okay, I want you to do both.
Poor.
Soren.
William.
Monica.
Jack. Kabir.
Russell.
Nathan.
All right.
Christian.
So let's get started here. So when I ask you to simplify this, you can actually use your calculator, okay? But based on the problem, let's again not go into details why, sometimes it doesn't work, okay? So the main thing you have to focus is the exponent here, odd and even, okay? If it's an even, you make I squared raised to 125 because there is a rule a raised to m raised to n is a raised to m times n 2 times, and everything has to be in square because you know I squared is -1. So this is the first step. But if it's an odd number, you take one I out and convert into a even exponent. So that's the difference. That's why I want to do this both at the same time. Then I want to do I times I squared raised to 49. 2 times 49 is 98. I times -1 raised to odd. -1 raised to odd. These two numbers are odd. -1 raised to odd is -1 times I is -I. -1 raised to odd is -1. Make sense? Any questions, anybody? Question number 4. I raised to 978.
Poor.
Monica.
William. Jack. Christian.
Soren.
Kabir. Nathan.
If you have a graphing calculator, please get your graphing calculator and do these problems and tell me if you get these answers, okay? Please, everybody. Just tell me yes or no for this one. Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this one?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So you don't want to rely on a calculator for this section portion because it depends on your calculator again. But this one, it will work. The only thing is you want to put parentheses for numerator and for denominator. Play it safe with parentheses here. It will work every single time. It may not work here every single time. I raised to 978, so it's an even. I squared raised to what? 4. Come on, tell me, guys.
31.
489.
489.
Yeah.
So -1 raised to odd. So -1. Make sense? Anybody, any questions on this? All right. Go to page 10 of the math packet, and I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to read through it. Page 10 of the math packet. And again, if you see any of these questions that show up, that are showed up in the October 22nd test, you got to let me know, okay? All right, question number 1. Solve for x. 81 times 9 raised to 3x minus 2 is equal to 27 raised to 5x plus 1.
Four.
Soren. Could be. Christian.
All right. Let's get started. So, when you have a problem like this with different bases, the first goal is to make the bases same. 81 can be written as 3 raised to 4. You sure can do 9 square, but 27 doesn't work there. So 9 is 3 square raised to 3x minus 2. 27 is 3 raised to 3 raised to 5x plus 1. This is your first step. Then 3 raised to 4 times a raised to m raised to n is a raised to m times n. So you're distributing 2. When you distribute 2, make sure it goes to both of them. This is the common mistake right here. 3 raised to 6x minus 4 is equal to 3 raised to 15x plus 3. Then a raised to m times a raised to n is a raised to m plus n. Now we have only one base on each side, which is same. That means the exponents have to be same. How many got this? 1, 2, 3. Have you seen something like this in the test? In the October test? No? Yes? I've seen this quite a bit in ACT lately, but may not be October.
I've seen it on ACT before, but not this one, I don't think.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this? Again, the mistake here is right here. They forget to distribute this. This is the mistake happens right here. Question number 2. Simplify.
Curve.
William.
Christian.
All right, let's get started. When you have a problem like this and you're asked to simplify, the first step is, if you have a radical, make it into an exponent, x raised to half. Remember, all radicals represents a fraction exponent. Minus log x raised to 8/3 plus 3 log x. Of course, in the ACT, you don't have to write this amount of details, I'm just showing it. Then there is a rule in logs called log a raised to b is b log a. So it's now half log x minus 8/3 log x plus 3 log x. This is one of my favorite formulas. Log a raised to b is b log a. Helps you to solve a lot of problems. Log x is common, so you're left with half minus 8/3 plus 3 or 1 log x. So then you just simplify, common denominator is 6. So 3 minus 16 plus 18 divided by 6 log x. So 5/6 log x. This is what I would be seeing in the ACT. Make sense? Any questions, anybody? Okay. Question number 3. Solve log to the base 5 x cubed equal to 5. Solve for x.
Curve.
Soren?
Nathan. Amir. William. Christian.
All right. So I'm going to do this problem with 2 different methods, see which one you guys picked. Okay? In method 1, and let's call this method 2. In method 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this first. So I'm going to bring the 3 on the other side. 3 log x to the base 5 is equal to 5. All right. Then divide by 3 both sides. So log x to base 5 is equal to 5/3. Okay. So when the unknown is with the log, to get rid of the log, we do what's called the anti-log. So in anti-log, we cancel the log and the base goes to the other side as a base. So x is equal to 5, this 5, raised to now 5/3. Okay? Somebody tell me what you guys got for the answer, 5 raised to 5/3.
14.62.
What's that?
14.62.
Somebody double check that?
Yep, I got the same.
14.62. Okay, so let's go with 14.6. Okay, so this is method 1. In method 2, we directly start with anti-log. So we directly start with anti-log. So we cancel the log here and the 5 goes here. So x cube is equal to 5 raised to 5. Right here, we cancel the log, 5 goes here. So x cube is equal to 5 raised to 5. So x is equal to cube root of 5 raised to 5, which is equal to 5 raised to 5/3, which of course is the same answer. So I would like to know, anybody tried the method 1? Okay. Anybody tried the method 2? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you guys all did this. Fine with me, no worries.
I just plugged it in on a graph.
On a graph.
Like I just set y equal to log base 5, x to the third, and then y equals 5, and then found the intersection.
Sure, you can do that. What happens if it's a variable, right?
Yeah, then it would be difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can.
I did it with the anti-log method, except I didn't know it was an anti-log. I just did it. Like
I think on page 10 it says anti-log, right? On
yeah,
page-
it does.
Yeah. Because you're doing the operation that is opposite to the log. So that's why it's called anti-log. In college, in freshman chemistry, freshman calc, you're going to be using anti-log all the time. Even in your AP calc and stuff, you'll be using anti-logs. This is a huge function in math, so you need to know that. So, any questions on any of these? All right. I'll see you guys next week. You guys hang in there. Lauren will be here, and see you next week. Again, stay here, okay? See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.